This video is going to show you how to make a two-colour reduction print. First, you need to plan your idea. When you have that, you're going to draw it onto a piece of polystyrene, or we also call it styrofoam or foam. You're going to use a thick pencil that's not too sharp and press the lines in quite hard. You want to make them go into the polystyrene. If in doubt, press as hard as you can. Then write your name and class in the back when you finished your drawing. Now you're going to take your drawing, your block, to your book, open your book in a nice clean page and make sure it's flat. And then take your block to a different table where you will find an inking tray, our printing ink, and a roller or brayer. This one has a red handle. We're going to use the red handled brayers for rolling the ink onto our block. So when you have an even layer of ink on the roller, you're going to transfer that onto your block, onto your picture. You probably will need some extra ink, so you need to go back to the tray, add more ink onto the brayer, and make sure you then transfer that onto your picture, going up and down and back to front. Here you can see that I didn't have quite enough, so I needed to add a little bit more. So it's really important that you have enough ink. It has to be even and flat, and it will look sticky, and you will be able to see your picture still, sticky and shiny and even. Then you take it back to the table with your book is, and really carefully, this is a bit fiddly, but carefully flip it over, and then put it down at one end of the page. We're going to do two prints, so we need to leave enough room for another print. Now you're using the clean brayer. You can see this does not have a red handle. And you're pressing as hard as you can, going up and down, backwards and forwards, and then you check the ink, and if it looks good, you can carefully peel off your block, and then go back to the other table and repeat the process. So do exactly the same thing the second time, and you will have two prints. Today I am only making two prints. If you were doing more, you would keep going. Then when you are finished, you are going to take a sponge and wash the ink off your block, because we will actually be using that with another colour next time. So give it a good wash with the sponge, make sure all the ink is off, squeeze your sponge, put it back, and then put your block to dry on the rack. Now we're going to add our second colour. So with my dry block, I'm doing some more drawing, again with a nice thick pencil, and I'm going to add lots of details. The more details and extra pictures and patterns you add, the more interesting your finished print will be, and the more colourful it will be too. Then go to the table where your book is, find your pictures from last time, your prints, and then you take your block back to the inking table. This time we're going to use black ink. So the second ink has to be a darker colour, so I've chosen black. And again, I am rolling the ink over the tray. I don't need to cover the tray, I just want to get it evenly onto the roller. When you've done that, roll it up and down and side to side, all over the block. You'll notice the piece of magazine is underneath, that is keeping my table from getting too messy. And then when I've finished, I'm taking it to my book with my prints from last time. I'm making sure it's the right way round, I don't want to print it upside down. Carefully, this is really important, as carefully as you can, get it lined up so it's in exactly the same place. Push down a little bit with your fingers, and then again with a clean brayer, press and roll. Up and down, backwards and forwards, remembering the corners and edges. Check and peel off. It looks pretty good. And now, again, you repeat the process, exactly the same thing. Black ink, place it on top, use the brayer, roll up and down, and side to side, remembering the corners and edges, and in the middle, carefully check, and if it looks good, peel it off. And now put all of your prints on the drying rack, and this time, because you are finished, you don't need to wash the block. We can just put that on the drying rack, and there you see two beautiful prints with two different colours.